How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korban Gaming. Welcome back to another very special Adventure Quest video, and today I am quite excited because I'm going to be discussing ideas on the Wingweaver Battles gear set. So a little while back, for those of you guys who are not aware, I actually said that I will not be taking part in the summer donation contest simply because look at this set. I really do not like the artwork of this set. Just reminds me of My Little Pony. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the artwork. But I changed my mind soon after because I was getting a whole ton of tokens. So I decided, why not be a nice guy and donate it all back to the community. Okay, so right now my current total number of tokens received, I'm currently sitting on over 124,000 tokens received, and I know that is an insane amount to a lot of people, and it is. And the reason why, or the secret of how I can get so many tokens, is because I am using 10 characters. So if you haven't already, it's still not too late because there will still be a whole bunch of tokens coming in on the very last day of the contest. So go ahead and get all 9 of your other alt characters up to level 25. You can do so in one day, and once you do that, you'll be able to be eligible for receiving tokens. And yeah, that's basically my secret to it. There will still be a lot of big whales and people like myself sniping, donating on the very last day in order to get a chance at the set. So yeah, I'm gonna donate back all of the tokens, or as much as I need to get top 50, which is what you need for this year's armor. They also extended it to top 50 so that more people will be able to use the full set, which is very nice of them. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of the ideas here because there's just too many ideas. I'm going to go through 2 of the currently most discussed and most popular ideas now, which is Draco Shadrack's idea as well as my idea. Surprise, surprise. And my idea only came out yesterday. So first off, I just want to say I am very thankful for all the support that my idea has gotten. You know, quite a lot of people are fond of the creative aspect of it, and that really, you know, I am truly honored and humbled by that. And also, huge shout out and thanks to every single person who has given feedback on my set on how to improve it and etc. So I will list out the names later on when I go through the idea for my set. Okay, but right now let us go through Draco Shadrack's idea for the set. His set right now, I think is the one that is getting the most support. So we'll go through it, and I don't really like the set, and I will go through it why one by one. Okay, of course these are just my own personal opinions, so you are free to go ahead and, you know, come out with your own opinion. So first off, his entire set is based off boosting healing as well as regen. Okay, so I don't know if I said this before on camera, but it's not really a secret that number 1, I don't really like regen items, and number 2, I don't really like heal boosting items, for the reason because it's my own personal preference and playstyle. You guys know I use potions a lot, and normally I find that the healing from potions is more than enough. Like, there's no need to boost the healing from potions in order to get me a fat enough heal. Like, usually I find it more than enough. So the thing is, if you're boosting the healing to crazy amounts, which I know a lot of people do like to play that way or do like to heal in that way, all the additional healing that you're getting is sort of wasted, and I don't really like that. I feel like it's a waste of inventory slots to like dedicate slots just to boost your heal amount, because any overflow heal that you get is wasted, and on top of that, any extra resources you get at the end of the battle are technically wasted as well, because you're not spending all of them in battle. So that's why I feel I don't really like the whole regen and heal boosting mechanic idea, okay, as a whole. Now, for the shield, causes the player to take minus X blocking to provide minus 12.5% heal resist. I don't like heal boosting. And the second skill has a QC once per turn skill which heals HP. If one or more statuses are present on the player at that time, it also cleanses them, with the first status being free and additional statuses taking X% melee in accordance with the latest standards on status cleansing from the damage of the skill. Causes SP. If the amount of statuses would cause negative damage on the skill and instead increases the cost of it per status, there will be above said % melee value of the skill. Now, I don't like status cleansing. Why? Because it is literally useless in the whole game right now. Like, there are no bosses that inflict a dangerous enough status that will warrant you to try and cleanse it, rather than, you know, to do something else. Or rather, you most of the time, or almost all of the time, it's much better to just ignore the status and do something else completely to cleanse off the status. Or even if the boss does inflict a status, usually there'll be something that you can do that doesn't involve status cleansing to cleanse off the status by playing along with the boss's mechanics. So status cleanse, I just feel that it's a very useless mechanic in the game right now, not used a lot. So anything that is status cleanse is technically a wasted slot. Like, it could have been something else, it could have been something better. That's why I don't like it. Miscellaneous item, again with the heal is heal boosting, 0.5 wind damage taken, 50 endurance and luck. Clicking on the miscellaneous item activates Gathering Winds. For X SP upkeep, granting barrier after any form of direct attack on the monster coming from the player. So this is quite similar to the idea from Necromancer, and the whole set being focused on barrier, I'm a little bit worried about something, and that is that we have not seen the new mage revamp yet, the tier 1 and tier 2 mage revamps. We have not seen that yet, and we have not seen the obviously very anticipated Archmage class out yet, and the staff has made it clear that they sort of want to use barrier as like a main idea for mage or like spellcasting builds. We've seen this in the barrier from Necromancer, we've seen this from many other different various barriers like the Crystal Mana Defender Shield that gives a barrier. From spellcasting, Archmage Apprentice, that's technically mana shield, but you know, it's sort of like a barrier thingy. And even in the proposed updates for the new stat revamp, they even proposed giving us some sort of barrier as sort of a bonus for having intellect. So I feel like they are going in this direction for mage or like spellcasters in general. So my question then is, when the mage tier 1 and tier 2 revamp drops, when Archmage drops, will this set power creep the Archmage and the Mage armors, or will the Mage and Archmage armors just be better, just do better at barriers than this? And also, we already have many forms of crazy boosting inside of the game that can boost barriers to crazy amounts. Do we need more? Like I mentioned, the whole overflow thingy, do we need more of that? Like, so what if you have a ton of it? Will you use all of it throughout a battle? The thing is, it's not like damage whereby if you overkill a monster, then yeah, at least you can guarantee your way of killing it. If you overheal on like, I don't know, HP healing or SP or MP healing, for example, is there any difference between healing 5,000 HP and 10,000 HP, or like 2,500 MP and 5,000 MP? There's no difference, because the maximum amount of MP and HP that you have is capped. It's capped at your whatever your bar shows. So if you have 2,600 MP as the max, you know, with 250 intellect, you heal 3,000 MP, it's still going to drop down to 2,600. There's no difference at all between a 2,600 heal and a 3,000 heal, and that's really my main gripe for it. Okay, so next up, weapon. Wind 0 proc weapon. Okay, that's not bad already. Has a weapon skill. Okay, uses the animation for the weapon special the following effects. If the player has at least 100% melee worth of barrier present and at most 400% melee worth of it, then it consumes the barrier to power out the damage of the skill. If not enough barrier is present, it instead pays X% melee in SP to do a Y% melee worth of damage skill. Okay, so like what was done with the Pale Skull weapon. So initially the idea for the weapon was for overflow heals to go into powering up the weapon. Now it's overflow barriers. I feel like overflow heals would now it's sort of like a barrier eater. Okay, I feel like the overflow healing mechanic will make me like the whole set more, because at least something was being done to address my problem of not liking the whole overflow healing and having nothing to do with it. Now it's like a barrier eater, so I don't know how much I like this whole barrier eater weapon. It's essentially just like he said, it's just another Pale Skull weapon. Instead of eating choke, you're eating the barrier. So yeah, I don't really like that. Pet. Okay, by the way, they also said that this is to me specifically barrier, not mana or chi shields. So for those of you who are unaware, barriers, mana and chi shields, they are all classified under the same thing inside of the game. So if they were to implement this set, it will mean that the staff would have to go back and change everything that is a mana shield and everything that is a chi shield to be different from a barrier so that you can't abuse this. And obviously they don't want this whole set to be abused. So yeah, also the point about the heal boosting is that they don't, there's many crazy ways to boost barriers inside of the game already. And the heal boosting, like there's some shenanigans with the Earth of Osiris miscellaneous item, the Holo Dragon Amulet miscellaneous items that rather than cut your damage by half, they heal back half the damage. There's some shenanigans with that. If you boost the healing from that, then you're essentially able to heal back more from what the enemy is able to damage you with, which is quite crazy if you think about it. So they'll have to go and change all of these existing items in the game just to balance this set. And I'm not a fan of changing old items just to balance a new item. I think it's a very stupid way of doing things, but that's just my personal opinion. Also, it's a whole lot more work for the staff, so yeah. Okay, now for the pet. Excuse me. 2 attack modes. First mode, heal mode, 2 turn, MP plus SP rename V-Gen effect. So, excuse me, I don't like V-Gen effects, okay? I think it's just not very good most of the time. By the time you can stack up a powerful V-Gen, the enemy is already dead. So there's not much point in having V-Gen items. I would prefer it to be a straight up MP plus SP heal similar to the Fey pet. Something that you can boost with other heal boosting items from your set rather than a V-Gen effect. Of course, V-Gen does make it more interesting and unique since we don't really have many V-Gen items inside of the game, and we don't have MP or SP V-Gen effects yet, I think. So especially not from a pet. So this is unique, but yeah, I don't like it because most of the time you won't be able to enjoy the full power of it. Damage mode causes XSP upkeep and deals extra 100% damage. So this is similar to other pets that we already have in the game, like the plush nugget pet. So there's nothing unique about that there. Okay, okay, as a passive mode that can be turned on or off, click on the body. When turned on, it takes half the power of whichever attack mode the pet is currently in and adds 0.2 to a power mod multiplier, starting at 1 and capping at 5. Okay. When turned off, the pet discharges all built up power mod to empower the current attack mode, or does nothing if the power mod is 1. The amount of power mod carries over between battles. Empower the current attack mode. So okay, so you can stack charges to make it more powerful. So yeah, again, this is my gripe. Like at 5 turns, okay, let's say you gain 1 charge every turn. How do you even gain charges? I'm not really sure, but yeah, assuming you take 5 turns to cap the charges, will you, like, and if you use the first mode, okay, the V-Gen effect, like, how much longer will the battle last? After the 5 turns, after maxing out the power mod and then stepping on the V-Gen effect, you're expecting the battle to last 7, maybe 10 turns. Like, yes, that is possible for some boss battles, but it's not super common. That's why, and it's also not really my type of playstyle to drag out the battle that long if I can help it. So yeah. Okay, next up, armor, wind primary with energy and water secondaries. Nothing much to talk about here. Mounted mode, overcharged wind element spell type skill, invigorating winds. Skill isn't present in dismounted mode. Causes SP if enough barrier is present on the player, then consumes it to cover the overcharge cost. Otherwise, cost reverts to using purely SP. Pays half of its total damage to give a permanent heal resist mod or minus X% to a player, and attempts to inflict an inverse but equal power mod on the monster at 0 save bonus, means that overluck versus endurance overluck. This effect is capped at the first sight to reach 75% modified resist, minus 175% for the player or minus 25% for the monster, and once it is, the skill reverts to pure damage without penalty. Now, this is another big problem I have with the set. You guys know I like OP stuff, and this is quite OP, okay? I'm not going to lie, this is actually a very, very strong effect, and I love strong things, you know, but the problem is the staff going to let it remain this strong? That's the thing. The staff always tweaks the numbers before they release it in the game. Are they going to let it remain this strong? I highly doubt so. And if they're going to lower it to some crappy amount, will the whole set be as good as it is right now? That's my main question. So that's something to think about for those of you guys who are supporting the set. It may not be this number. It is likely not going to be this number from experience. So if they are going to weaken it, and if it's going to be by a significant amount, would you guys still be okay with supporting the set, because the whole premise of why this set is good right now is basically the numbers and the crazy things that you can do with it. If you take away the numbers and the crazy amounts of boosting that this set gives, is it still going to be good? Is it still going to be worth your hundreds of dollars? That's my question. And then the second skill has a toggle in skill menu. Toggle isn't present in dismounted mode. Provides lean toggle. Okay, give permission, a suggestion, animation. Okay, dismounted mode. Armor attacks locked to wind element. Ignores lean toggle from mounted mode. And is always fully offensive. Okay, this is interesting. After attacking with the armor, players take 1 hit of heal damage that grants barrier based on how many hits connected. This effect is paid for by the player having -X blocking in dismounted mode. Okay, and has toggle in skill menu, deflecting winds, which trades in a portion of attack damage to apply a Y multiplier to the damage of the hit of healing damage mentioned above. Okay, so this gives barrier. This doesn't give this doesn't give any barrier. This doesn't give any barrier. Okay, so only the miscellaneous item and the armor gives barrier. Okay, wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, only these 2 items gives barrier. Oh, that's another problem with the set. I did not notice this beforehand, but miscellaneous, I think everybody can get it. But apart from that, you'll need the armor. So, you know, this entire set is technically heavily based on the armor for the barrier. Like, apart from the mist, of course, you can use many of the other barrier items in the game. I'm not saying that. But one of the gripes that they have with my set was that it was entirely reliant on one item. And it seems like it's the same problem for their set as well. So yeah, I'm going to add this in later on. Okay, so that's their set. Overall, I think it's a powerful set. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like it because some of it, my own personal preferences and playstyle, and some of it for the reasons that I already explained. You guys can go think about it, whether you guys agree or disagree with me. Feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, so this is my idea for the set. Okay. So first up, armor. To keep in line with the thematics and functionality of my set idea, okay, I've decided to propose a reversal or change of the lean system that is typically used in these mounted donation set armors. Okay, so for those of you guys that are unaware, for donation set armors, this has been the case for the longest time. The dismount mode is a fully offensive mode that locks your attack to the element of the armor, and then the mount mode is basically a fully defensive mode. So I'm proposing to change up the lean system. Okay, number 1, to also make it a bit more unique, and number 2, so that it will fit in more with the whole theme of what I'm trying to do here. So mounted mode is going to be fully offensive rather than fully defensive, but it will not have any ally locked regular attacks. So it comes with a skill that causes SP and locks you out of attacking, weapon specials, spell casting, and armor swapping for the next 3 turns. Now, the point of locking all of these out is obviously to prevent abuse and to rein in the whole power of this skill. Okay, you can still swap to other equipment and equip items still take effect. So say for example, if you you switch over to Celtic Shield or something like that, you still get the 50 intellect drive. If you use Titan's Fall, you still get the dodge slash effect from Titan's Fall, something like that. Okay, clickable items that take a turn to use, like miscellaneous items, are going to be locked from activating. So for example, something like your Sunburst Amulet that causes a turn, you'll not be able to use it. QC items, however, are not affected, so you can still use miscellaneous items like your power gauntlet. Okay, those don't take up a turn, those are not affected. You gain 30 to 40 plus MRM the first 2 turns. I don't know what's a good number for this. I would prefer it to be higher if possible, obviously. Okay, without making the SP cost too crazy. On the 3rd turn, you perform a 4 to 6 hit. Okay, I'm not sure what's a good number. I don't know what's the number that the staff will be okay with going with, but I don't think anything lesser than a 4 hit is going to make it good because of all the damage caps that we have nowadays. So it's going to be a wind-locked nuke attack that starts off at 150% base damage. These are random numbers that I just pulled out. Okay, and gains extra 10% damage for every hit dodged the past 2 turns. So the monster is assumed to do 2 hits every turn, so assumption will be 4 hits, so you'll gain a 40% damage boost at 190% total damage. Of course, monsters with more hits, say for example, your monster does like 5 hits every turn, then this is going to gain like what, 100% damage, so that's going to be quite crazy. Ideally, I would like this to not be capped, but if they want to cap it to 8 hits, I think it will still be okay. 230% base damage is still pretty powerful. Okay, the idea is that you ride on your horse and you fly high up into the heavens. So monsters won't be able to hit you, hence the MRM boost for the first 2 turns. On the 3rd turn, you come crashing down with the fury of 100 storms, hence the nuke. So this skill has both offensive as well as defensive capabilities, and regardless of whether you prefer to turtle up in a dodge build or you prefer to nuke, there's something for everyone here. Now, I've been told by many people that the base damage numbers here, I can afford to make it significantly higher. In fact, I think I can afford to make it 300% or something like that, but number 1, I don't think that will be very balanced, and number 2, this is because of how many things I am locking out. Okay, and you lock something out, apparently it's worth quite a lot of percentage melee. I don't know, but I want this idea to come to the game, so I'm okay with it being underpowered mathematically on paper, but you know, inside of the game is still going to be super duper strong. And you know, I would never propose for anything that I feel is weak, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Ideally, okay, this should cost about an average amount of SP. If not just the standard overcharge cost, it shouldn't cost anything more than that. But with how much, you know, how many locks and how much value I'm able to play with here, ideally I like to get the MRM higher, or I would like to get the base damage higher, as long as they are able to bring this idea to the table while still making it balanced in some way. Okay, dismounted is going to be a FD mode, again no ally lock regular attacks, so you deal reduced player damage, but it boosts the power of your pet and guest by 25%. And on top of that, it also comes with a toggle that causes SP and grants 100% lucky strike rate to your pet for the current turn. So if you use this armor in this mode, you no longer need to use optical, but if you choose not to use it in this mode, you can still use your optical item. And this one I think will be a very welcome change, very welcome toggle or mode by anyone playing Beastmasters. Now, one flaw that I have to admit with my whole set idea is that there's not much synergy between the dodge slash mode and the whole Beastmaster boosting mode, but I think that's okay. It can be a set that does 2 things very well rather than a set that tries to combine the 2 things. Okay, so the idea here is that you set your companions free, letting them run wild and free in the wind, as well as giving them your blessings. Okay, so Beastmaster build has been getting quite a lot of popularity recently, so I think this will be quite a hot favorite for anyone playing the Beastmaster build. Next up, the idea for the weapon is a toggle between 2 modes. First mode grants you a side MRM at the cost of weapon damage, so this is basically going to be a clone of Madam. Okay, the Madam weapon. And the second mode increases pet and guest damage at the cost of SP. This second mode is going to be a clone of Foam Finger. Alternatively, for the second mode, okay, Gibby has also suggested solely boosting guest damage at the cost of SP to make it more unique from the other pet and guest boost weapons we already have. But I think this idea doesn't work as well because this set does not come with a guest, okay, and donation sets don't come with a guest. So I think it's better if we stick with the my original idea of boosting both pet and guest damage. Or I can just boost pet damage alone, since this whole set doesn't come with a guest anyway. So I think maybe that will make more sense. Yeah, I might change that, I don't know. Okay, but boosting both pet and guest, I think that will benefit Beastmasters in general rather than people just solely using the set. So I think I might keep the guest one. Okay, for shield, toggle between 2 modes. First mode grants a small ally and power for the next turn based on number of hits dodged this turn. So it's basically the opposite of Pale Skull shield that we have last year. So instead of getting hit and gaining ally and power, every time you dodge you gain ally and power instead. This is a copy of the Bright Slayer shield's mechanics. Okay, and then the second mode causes SP to increase pet and guest damage. Now, I don't know what the numbers are for this originally, okay, but people have told me that you can boost it up to 50%, and my mind was absolutely blown. 50% pet and guest damage boost on the shield? That's crazy. I think anyone who is a Beastmaster would love this shield. So yeah, I don't think I need to elaborate further on why, if you're a Beastmaster, this shield would be your number 1 pick. Okay, for pet, toggles between 2 modes. First mode is a dodge heal mode. Okay, so you heal SP when you dodge an attack, and the second mode will be dealing wind damage every time you dodge. So it's like a dodge slash effect. Now, we cannot use the the formula that we are using currently inside the game to calculate this, because it will just be too crazy OP. You'll be healing like 800, 900 SP, something like that, and you'll be dealing like a crazy amount of damage. So yeah, we cannot use those numbers, and we also cannot boost it if we choose to go with the same mechanic that we currently have, which is why what I'm proposing is, instead of using the old numbers, this is a completely new mechanic. We have not seen this mechanic on pets before. Yes, you have seen it on other items, but not on pets before. So what I'm proposing for this pet is for it to be a completely new mechanic, using a completely new formula, new numbers, you know, basically anything that will balance it but still keep this original idea. And I want to give credits to Lupao Lunatic as well as Yori for this idea. Initially, my idea for a pet was going to be quite boring, so yeah, they were the ones who came up with this idea entirely, so shout out to the both of them. Okay, miscellaneous item. Toggles between two modes. First mode grants wind dodge slash damage with a dex and luck drive at the cost of SP. Because dex and luck currently gives you MRM and helps with blocking right now. We don't know if that will change with the new stat revamp, but currently right now this is what I want it to be. And this is obviously to give you another form of dodge slash damage apart from the pet. And the second mode, okay, comes with a small chance to grant pet and guess celerity with a charisma and luck buff at the cost of SP. Now, a lot of people are saying that this mode is kind of weak and kind of useless because of what we already have, like Shadow Feeder Pendant, Havati Blade, Clever Disguise, and I do agree. Initially, I wanted this mode to be like a pure, another pet and guess damage boost, but I thought that was kind of boring, so I set up with this whole small chance of giving it celerity instead to make it a bit more unique. But since people are saying it's kind of useless and weak, which I do agree with, I think most likely what I will change it to is either I will change it back to a pure pet and guess damage boost, or I will change it to be a QC clickable skill that grants you pet and guess celerity. That would at least set it apart from Shadow Feeder Pendant, whereby instead of giving your whole side of the field celerity, you're only giving it to your pet and guess. And it will also be different from Clever Disguise because it will not cost a player turn, it will be QC. So those are my ideas that I have for the second mode of the miscellaneous item. We'll likely change this soon once I decide on what I want. Okay. And then here we have some other criticisms for the sets. You guys can go ahead and read through it. I will not go through everything. So now it's mostly me and the rest going back and forth between what we think is good about each other's set. So yeah, the two sets that are gaining the most traction undoubtedly is my set idea as well as Draco's set idea. Okay, right now I think Draco's set idea is definitely winning. More people are supporting that, but a lot of people are also quite impressed as well as interested in the idea for my set, especially the pet as well as the first skill of the armor. So if you guys like my set ideas, please support my set ideas. I would really like them to be added to the game, and I think it's my first attempt at coming up with something that is balanced but also unique. Okay, obviously it's not perfect. There are problems with the set, I do admit that, but I don't think any set in the game is technically perfect. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on how I can improve the set, I really appreciate all of you guys to give me your suggestions. You guys can also tell me if you guys like the set or don't like the set. If you don't like the set, I will urge you to at least tell me why, so I can at least try to convince you or try to change the set in a way such that more people will like it. So because obviously I want to get it added to the game, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and if you guys like this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Peace out.